Brett Johnson and Michael Tolkin created and wrote the award-winning Showtime limited series Escape at Dannemora, which is based on the real-life prison escape that took place in upstate New York in 2015. Brett, I'll start with you. Were you paying attention to the events as they were unfolding in the news at the time?
Yeah, I was actually out of town at a wedding the weekend that the prison break happened, but the Monday afterwards, it happened Friday night at midnight. Monday, producer friend of ours, Brian Zurif, called and said, "Have you seen this prison break?" I said, "No, I was at a wedding all weekend." He said, "Hang up, Google it, and call me back." And I did. Immediately, it was this amazing, insane story. And Michael and I had written an episode of Ray Donovan together that we were on set producing. And immediately, we started spitballing. And before they were caught or captured, we already had an outline for the entire sort of limited series thing. So yeah, it was right away. We were just, and every day a new piece of news broke that was, it just kept adding and adding to the fascinating lives of these people.
And Michael, what was it like constructing this story? As it was unfolding, and to just see it come together like that.
Well, we got very excited by the story as it was unfolding in the press, and we debated whether or not, for our purposes, whether it would be better if they got away or if they were caught. This is while they were still on the run. I had gone to college in Vermont, across the lake from Plattsburgh, so I knew the area a little bit. I knew the culture, and I was intrigued by seeing the North Country in the news. We wrote the first 2 episodes on spec and shot them around, and got real interest for it. But we didn't have the full story that we had a year later when the State Inspector General of New York released her report, and that became the Bible for the show. It was also how we got Ben Stiller involved with us. Ben had been interested in the story when all we had was the news reports to guide us. And when the Inspector General report came out, he joined because we had the all the details that we needed to make it what it became.
And Michael, you have a background as a novelist, and the series sort of has a novelistic approach. It feels like it unfolds that way, in that kind of a very detailed, gradual way. Did that influence your approach to this kind of filmed long form storytelling?
Absolutely, I felt really comfortable with it. I think TV. I've written some series TV, but never as successfully as this, because it fit because there was an ending already. I think that was that was what God gave us with this story. It had an ending, and because of that, we were able to shape it. Then we broke it down into acts and expanded on the story in areas where we didn't have all the information that we when we started. I mean, I think it's also the great thing about limited television, limited series TV, is that it's so novelistic, and that you can go deep into something and you can end.
And Brett, what did you hope? This story is a real story, real characters. People are reading about it in the news, watching it on the news. What did you hope to bring to it beyond what people could maybe already read about and see about?
Well, I had come from a research background. I was actually, my first job in Hollywood was being in charge of research for Mad Men, and then I did that for 2 years, and so when this happened, I sort of dusted off those old research skills, a lot of which is just calling people and asking questions. Neither Michael or I really had too much knowledge of prison culture. Michael had gone to college across the lake. I'd never been to upstate New York myself, but I think that the thing about this story that grabbed us was the characters, especially the character of Tilly, but also Richard Matt and David Sweat, and also Lyle, Tilly's husband. And we sort of, I guess our goal was to find all the stuff that we could that was real, but then to really come to a real decision about who these people were as characters and then breathe life into all of the stuff that you can't know. Because I think that sometimes when people base things on a true story, they feel handcuffed by anything that they can't certainly know. And I think that one of the things we hope to do was to be able to you know, give really educated, informed guesses about stuff, so that it had the same, you know, fleshed out texture that you would have in a completely fictional story.
And Michael, what was the biggest challenge, would you say, in telling a story about, you know, that takes this deep character approach to these real life figures who, you know, two of which are still alive and serving their time, Sweat and Tilly. Was that a challenge to kind of explore characters who are real and could literally talk back to you? In one case, Tilly actually did criticize the film.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is you have. It's very exciting telling a story that's rich. It's very exciting telling a story with such rich characters and who give you such an opportunity to go deeply into their lives. So the challenge is to make yourself work harder to get deeper into what they. It's like you know, it comes down to for me, and I think for Brett too. Something is alive when it comes down to something that you can put in as a really great scene. And the quality of the scene is where you know that you're flying. And we were given an opportunity with so many scenes to expand upon the things that were true, things from the reports. So we wove interview transcripts with our dialogue back and forth, and we married ourselves to the story. And just as artists, I think that's the joy of being able to tell a story like this.
And one of the interesting aspects of the series is how much detail there is about the escape itself, just the logistics of it, how they got out, what tools they used, what path they took. Brett, was that a challenging part to piece together, or were all the details really clearly easily available to recreate that part of the story?
Well, as much as we attempted to make everything accurate, and we did research to the extent to which you can research. I mean, there were no cameras following them around. The one thing that I feel very confident that we are almost identical to what happened is the mechanics of the escape, because we have both the 170-page detailed Inspector General's report. We have 4 different, I think, transcripts of David Sweat's testimony. He spoke to 4 different law enforcement agencies. And we actually met David Sweat himself, where we were then able to sort of, you know, cross-examine him for details. And, you know, just in terms of portraying real people, I mean, you have to go into this. We learned a lot about interviewing people by studying the way that detectives interview people. You know, and you have to go in there with a degree of skepticism. I mean, what does this person have to gain by lying to me, you know, with a certain thing? But the one thing where I don't think there was any fudging from the truth for David Sweat was when it came to those details. I mean, when he tells you how he took a pair of nail clippers and stuck and, you know, removed the little piece, the little, you know, dowel that goes through, and attached that to the hacksaw blade, and then bent back the paper clip to give him leverage, and then wrapped that with rubber bands and cloth. You know that's the truth. You know, if he tells you, hey, I didn't sleep with Tilly in the back room, well, I don't think he's being honest about that, and there's actual criminal reasons why he would be dishonest about that, because she would actually be charged with sexual assault if that did occur. So, you know, there's motive when it comes to things like that, and you have to be skeptical about the answers to those questions. But when it comes to the escape stuff, we were just really focused on conveying it exactly as it happened, and I think that we really did.
And, you know, of course, you've got actors playing these real life roles, Patricia Arquette, Benicio del Toro, Paul Dano as the central 3 characters. You know, Michael, did you go into this with actors in mind, or did you really just think about it with these real people in this story and sort of casting things?
Well, we knew we wanted Patricia. But I think that as names came up, we won the lottery and we got who we wanted. You know, when you're writing it, you write it with a lot of names in mind, but we got who we wanted. There's no possibility that we could have done better.
And yeah, what did you think about Brett, the process of casting these roles and other roles based on these real figures you're trying to portray?
I mean, as Michael said, Patricia, Benicio, Paul, Eric Lang, who plays Lyle, David Morris, who plays Gene Palmer, amazing. I mean, he's a, you know, absolute leading man, quality actor in a part like Gene Palmer, which gave it so much rich dynamism. Bonnie Hunt, who played Catherine Leahy Scott, who wrote that report that was sort of our gift from heaven that got our, you know, us all the information we needed. But, you know, the not just are those actors all the best for their parts, but the dynamics between them, the dynamic between Benicio and Paul, you know, they have such different energies as people, and it worked so well in that dynamic between them. That's such a huge part of the story. And then the way that, you know, Patricia has these three different men in her lives, Lyle, and then, you know, Paul Dano, who played David Sweat, and then Benicio. You really, in some ways, those three actors serve to shine a light on three different aspects of who she is. You know, with Lyle, it's sort of like her puppy dog, you know, that's always following around that she's annoyed with. With Paul, it's like this, you know, weird middle school, you know, high school passing notes type romance. And then Benicio comes to her and says, I'm a criminal and you're a criminal, you know, and so that's like her weird Bonnie and Clyde thing. And, you know, I just couldn't possibly, you know, imagine anybody playing any of those parts other than those 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 actors.
And you know, you're working with Ben Stiller, of course, who directs the entire series. Best known as an actor, of course, but also has developed a really strong resume as a director up to this point. You know, what was it like working with him, Michael?
He was relentless in the pursuit of accuracy and in the pursuit of detail. And one of the things is that we knew that with Ben we had a chance for someone who would be able to get it cast because of his connections and his abilities. When we needed to shoot on location in the prison, Ben was able to reach out to the governor and get us access. I just as somebody who spent some time around sets before, he's there on the set all day. He's standing all day. He expects everybody else. You know, he's there working hard and showing how hard everybody. You know, encouraging everybody to continue working hard. It was amazing.
And you know, over the course of the series, most of it follows the specific timeline of the breakout and the manhunt and the capture. But there's one episode that's a flashback episode that gives you a deeper look into these characters' lives beforehand, the crimes they committed, or you know, Tilly's previous marriage. You know, what were you hoping to convey there, Brett, when you gave this extra look into these characters?
Yeah, we came up with that structure, the idea of episode 6, early on in our writing process, you know, before we had even finished those first 2 drafts. And we knew that it was crucial to show the crimes these guys had done, because too often when we watch a car chase or when we see a prison break, there's a tendency, and we were guilty of it ourselves, watching it, where you're cheering for the guys. And I think the reason you do that is not because you're rooting for criminals. It's just simply the David and Goliath aspect of it. You got 2 guys, there's 1,500 cops after them. You have a gut instinct to root for the underdog, and you know they've done a bad thing because they're in prison, but that's abstract. You know, it's one thing to hear about it, it's a whole other thing to watch it. And so we were certain that we did not want to turn these guys into folk heroes. And so we were always adamant about doing it. But early on, we had, in the script, intercut those episodes with the first couple of episodes of our show, the flashbacks. And then we realized that, I think part of what we're going for with this show is juxtaposing opposite ends of people's personalities. Sometimes people are like this, other times they're like that. And we thought rather than intercut them, we deliberately built to the end of episode 5 is the moment in which you are the most sympathetic towards Matt and Sweat, because they've been stood up. They've worked all this time with their collaborator, and in some ways, she's like a femme fatale in that moment. She stood them up. And we had this idea that what if we took the most sympathetic moments, arguably in these men's lives, and then put it right next to the absolute worst moment of their lives, so that hopefully in a way that you maybe couldn't do in a film because you wouldn't have time, could leave you as the audience, rather than us telling you, oh, well, here's a bad thing they did, but here's the redemption. Rather than spoon feeding you what you're supposed to think about it, cut these two things that do not match and let you sort of try to rectify those things. And hopefully that gave something to digest during the 2-hour finale episode. And, I think it adds so much watching Paul Dano shoot a cop 15 times, that moment in the finale when he's in a hunting cabin and he finds a gun. And what's he going to do with it? It's so different than had you not had that episode 6 there. And I really think, at the heart of it was our effort to not make folk heroes out of these things.
And when all is said and done and the audience has taken in all 7 episodes, I'm wondering what both of you kind of hope the audience leaves the series with. Start with you, Brett.
Well, I think that, speaking of juxtaposing aspects of people's personalities, with Tilly, all we saw from her in the press, she did a couple of interviews with Matt Lauer, was how she acted after she was caught, And so we saw this woman who said, I just loved people too much and I just wanted to help and I was trying to save my husband. But it occurred to us, that there was this whole other side of her that must have been excited and had a fantasy too. And so the first 5 or 6 episodes of her, we're seeing that other side. And the last 2 hours, we're seeing the side that everyone saw in the news. I am a victim here. I didn't do anything wrong, not really wrong, she says. And I think that, at the end, we have that scene with her and Lyle, and then she goes back into her cell, and this guard makes a pass at her, which is a completely fictional scene that we came up with. And the purpose of that is to sort of, remind you of that other side of her. And what happened to that other side? Is it still there? Is that side the real side? Or is this side the real side? Or are they both? And what's she going to choose? So I think that, we really worked a long time on getting to that point at the end where I guess my hope would be that you're left wondering and thinking and, considering those things.
And how about you, Michael? What do you hope will be the audience's kind of takeaway from this story?
The prison genre has not been revived in a long time, and I think we really we're excited about doing something with the genre and infusing it with reality and with life and with love and with depth of character. And I think to be able to capture people's attention for 2 months.
So often when you watch these movies or these TV shows, everyone's getting raped or shivved. And we really wanted to show how these people had often all of the same struggles we do. They get hired, they get fired, they get a raise, they lose their girlfriend, they get back together, they've got to fight with their buddy. And, I think that really for us, the prison break itself was simply a way to to look at these people for 7 hours,
Right.
for 8 hours.
Right. One of my favorite scenes in the show is the scene where Lyle goes to the restaurant, to Sassone's, to book a table for his wife, and it's just that everybody wants to present something, do something nice for the family. Everybody wants to do something nice for his wife, and there's no, and he wants it to be right, and that wanting it to be right, that being able to get into the characters and get to them, so that what they're living with is something that's universal and not about crime, but about a dinner reservation. In the midst of all of this, that I think is one of the things that made us so excited about working on this.
Thank you, Brett and Michael, and thank you to everyone watching this. To everyone watching, please click like and subscribe to keep up with all of our award season interviews, and visit goldderby.com to make your predictions for the Emmys and everything in general. So thanks to you both again, and best of luck at the Emmys. Fingers crossed in a few months.
Thank you.